Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with a restart of our series because we're learning more and more about Hearts of Iron 4 La Resistance. We're looking at the intelligent element because I do believe things will probably over time change. I mean, that's just been the history with Paradox in detail on how effective intelligence works, but I'm trying to figure out what is effective in it, that affects the outcome, but also how it works and whatnot. And because it's become an important part of the game, though it may not be a majorly important part of the game. But I'm tired of saying this and pushing this, but I just guess I have to. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the videos. And you don't know how much it just helps me out there is when you just post below a video, hi, hello. It can be a detailed question about something. I love those too. But just more comments below on YouTube help so much. Helps with the algorithm, helps with just me seeing that people have made it this far and care about it. So, and I do also like to get to know you guys, as if not as an individual, as sort of a collective audience. It helps me a lot. So if you could just post a comment below, any old thing, as long as it's reasonably pleasant, I'm happy with. And of course, I also need to ask if you can share this video out on some other platform. That also helps, even if it's sharing it out to a vacuum. It helps so much. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, yes, occupy the Rhineland. And because we're looking at intelligence, we're going to as soon as we get 150, I know that does slow this down a little bit, but I do want to get the Rhineland occupied, is we're going to get Canaris as soon as, okay, agency upgrade time has, okay, we have to, yeah, of course, also, and we were going to head there too, create an intelligence agency, agency branches, that affair, okay, 30 days, get that going. Now do the standard starting text. Probably Eat Boy. I mean, just any old thing is, partially it's for the algorithm, partially it's just to sort of see who's here for me. It all helps. So posting a dot, he wanted to know, would that be enough? Yeah, it's that kind of thing, and the more interaction, because I'll probably say hi back to you to just create more interaction between us. It really is, so many people have done so much, and I really appreciate it here. I also feel bad about asking you to do more, but I just sort of feel I've got to. Okay, well, first off, let's come down. Now, close that. Deutschland class, we're moving you up to the top. Not that it's going to affect you so much, but well, you're not going to grow to that many right off the bat. We want to concentrate our naval production. Don't know that I should bother because I don't know we're going to get to all of this. Though I do want to play deeper. I really don't like the constant sort of restarting that I've been doing, but I think it's appropriate. And let's also start production of my favorite, the naval bomber. So that gets us going. Now I've been thinking more and more about intelligence in this game and intelligence in World War II. And if you're spreading it out to being, well, we can't click on the agency branches here. Dealing with external political parties and other things, it was vastly important in World War II. Are you planning to include mods with law resistance expand? Yes. Oh, certainly. Hello, Brett. Absolutely. I just don't know what's really ready to play with the expansion and with the intelligence, and also, quite honestly, I'm still trying to get a once you're compatible, of course, yes, but just trying to get a little better handle on the details of how it works. So I've been thinking, like, I think this system, one, could be over let's pause this, overwhelm the player, in that if you have too many spies, you know, it becomes a spy management game, which could be a really, really fun game. I'm not trying to suggest that that wouldn't be a good thing, but that changes what's going on. Because if you have like prepare collaborationist governments and things like that, well, Germany was doing a lot of that going on. And I know it wasn't a rage quit, but it was just more of an upset that you have Germany doing massive levels of overt and covert influence going on leading up to the Austrian Anschluss. You also have maybe about as extensive going on with Czechoslovakia and the Sudetenland. Less so for, at least so far my encountering of it, less so for the Danzig corridor. But if you look at, I believe it's Operation Himmler. Yes, Operation Himmler. I've lost the link to a really, really good detailed breakdown of more than just, the raiding the one radio station, but I mean up and down the border here of if I remember, don't know, but like 10 or so different actions that were covert operations that were carried out by, and I can always, some people may think this is I'm old, but no, it's just the Brandenburgers, the sort of intelligence or covert operation troops that happened along this to sort of create several incidents, and not just the sort of the famous one of the staged attack on a radio transmission site that was supposedly done by the Poles, obviously done by the Germans. So there's so much of that going on that they could have included in the game, but it could become overwhelming. I do see that. I'll be doing my math homework and listening. Okay, thanks, Brett. And hello, Siam666. How you doing? And now that we have an intelligence agency, I'm still, coming from Hearts of Iron 3, I'm still looking at trying to figure out blueprint stealing. That most assuredly went on in World War II. And I guess the biggest, most famous case, although it comes to light sort of post-war, is, and it's still going on, was the Soviet effort to steal the atomic bomb information from the U.S. So, just a second. So, that was very much a thing in World War II, and it massively jump started. And we should probably get no, another factory though. Okay, what's using rubber here? Well, maybe we just, yeah, we just need to do rubber. And do we have a clothes? I like one. Yeah, let's see about getting some rubber from France. I sort of like doing this, and I like doing it better when we could get some from the Netherlands. Because if I build up France a bit more with civilian factories, I'll just end up taking them later on. And so that's a good thing. Okay, let's... Do we get there? Yes. Okay, so now we have a little more rubber. Yeah, we'll do some more fighters. Fighters are important. So we definitely have the Rosenbergs and others involved in stealing the atomic bomb information to the Soviet Union. Not so much spying, but the Germans get the snorkel technology from the Netherlands. Arno isn't here right now to appreciate that and fill us in on more details. Yeah, no, Brett, don't worry about that. Just, it's whenever... Yeah, and I sort of worried about that being on stream, coughing. When I wake up, I have to clear a certain amount of phlegm from the system, and I woke up about an hour ago. So I'm still sort of on that, as opposed to being up a lot, and talking is influencing that. Okay, an operative can be recruited. Okay, what are our current... Scorzini, again, as I said before, and I know that everybody doesn't watch everything. He was an Austrian, I believe, in military, Austrian soldier at this time. So he would not be available to the Germans, I do not believe. I say that, but he might have been. I said this last time, but I never looked up Scorzini. Hey, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I may even bring this up on. Like I said, I have a few books with, he actually wrote the foreword to them, not signed them or anything. But, so I've known who he was for a long time. Okay, yes, I know he's Austrian. Oh, we'll share this over here. We'll come over to desk view. Okay, in addition to his native German, he spoke French. Because anyone's complaining about his father's austere lifestyle. Noted fencer, German national. Dueling scar, yeah. Member of the Nazi SA, a charismatic figure, he played a role in Anschluss. He saved the Austrian president from being shot by Austrian Nazis. Okay, well, interesting. So he goes back, and he has an SA membership back then, and in 1931, because I don't know how correct this is, because this is freaking Wikipedia. All of the SS was part of the SA at the time. 31, so it's, ASS is just a subset of that. So he could have been considered a German asset, but sort of like a foreign German asset before the... Yes, your screen should come back from the black. So he might be. Knight of the Long Knives. That's still, well, no, that already happened in this. Yeah, I know you were joking, but still, it did cross my mind coughing at the start of this. I work with, not for, but work with a company, Slytherin, and although they are very much a British company, their, shall we say, publicity element is based in Italy, and so been interacting some with them and the situation there. Oh, yes, it was mentioned, yes. So you thought you'd bring it up. Yeah, okay. Let's see, the guy with the big mustache here. Yeah, we'll... Operative chance, detection chance, minus 20%. Yeah, we'll grab him as an operative, and we're going to, let's see, we're going to start, click on him here, start building an intelligence network. Well, we can build it down here in the greater London area. Hello, Drunken Barbarian. It's been a little while since you've been around. Good to have you here. You still monitor, just be back in a minute. Okay, Brett. So we're now building intelligence network up. So we've got blueprints dealing. I keep clicking on the wrong things. Pavlov was right. Cryptology, localization. Operative recruitment choices +1. Yeah, we'll do this next. I'm well, and hope you are well, Drunken Barbarian. And yeah, hopefully you're having fun with your work, because I do know what it basically is. Hello, Astrosol, I guess is how you might pronounce that. Good to have you here. Get anti-partisan before the war starts. It helps greatly in bringing down resistance. Okay, good to know, and we will look into that area. Yes, German territory, Rhineland. Okay, I want to go here, fairly quickly. Oh, I need to look at that. But this is just 35 days now. And so we're going to grab that up to get that going, to get our ships in operation. And now that we both have an intelligence organization and enough political power, we're going to get him in, just because I want to have him there, which he should, I thought. Oh yes, get another, oh, okay, it has to go through the 28 days, or whatever, 30 days, a couple of days, I guess it already passed, to be able to recruit another one. Though normally it is best to get the political power guy next. There's no real point in getting more dockyards. You will almost never... that isn't the point either. Okay. I guess maybe time for another lecture. And it's all Ares' fault, so blame Ares for this interruption to gameplay. There are two basic and I'm what's the two basic sort of operational uses for navies. One is I guess sea dominance, controlling the sea lanes, if you will, and that is and and in doing so is crushing and sweeping the enemy's naval capability, and which is typified by the British and excuse me, hence the Americans. In naval theory, and that is the best naval practices. There is another basic naval doctrine that has been used, including by people in navies. I almost said people, but by navies that have roughly equal forces, and that is called the fleet in being. And it's a sort of major user of that in the 18th century was France, that at times had a larger fleet than Britain, including when Britain was trying to have as large a fleet as it could. And that the basic theory is that they don't want to lose their fleet. They don't want to risk sending their fleet out into battle because, especially in the age of sail, but also in the age of World War II, because there's a new factor coming in there. I don't know if anyone can quickly spot that, but is big fleet battles are risky things because you're dealing with winds and again in the age of sail, poor communication, just raising flags and people not understanding what you mean by your orders because you're trying to communicate them. So, and famously, the band of brothers that Admiral Nelson puts together, captains that captain his important ships, he really, really, really works for basically years before the famous Battle of Trafalgar with these captains, is trying to, one, indoctrinate them into naval combat styles that he agrees with, but two, just trying to get them all to work together, and so that when he puts up a signal, they understand the context in which it's meant. Plus, it's like, well, hey, yeah, if you ever have a good chance to break the enemy's line, take it, no matter what I'm signaling, kind of thing, unless maybe it's complete break off or whatever. But so that you're to get rid of that problem in communication and transmitting his battle doctrine to his subordinates. And that is years of work to create that in the 18th century. No other admiral had ever done anything like that, or maybe since World War II, maybe some admirals really worked with their captains well to do that. But that was sort of a unique thing. But so the battles are big naval battles, Trafalgar, Cape St. Vincent, on and on, are very, very risky things. So even if you show up with a bigger fleet, with the better ships and the better trained crews, you could lose the whole thing. And your Navy's gone. And it takes, whether in the 18th century or in the modern era, including to this day, years to build a replacement fleet. So they wanted the fleet in being. They didn't want the fleet destroyed. They wanted the fleet as a threat. It's the sort of the threat idea. And so we see very much Italy. I think some people would call it afraid, and I would have to agree with that, of the Royal Navy. The Italian Navy is afraid of the Royal Navy. But also, it's this fleet in being idea, is that there's a bunch of ships sitting down here in Toronto that can go out anywhere. And so just because they're there and they're modern, and for Italy they were modern battleships, well trained there. And so everything the British Navy has to do in the Mediterranean has to worry about this fleet existing. So if they're going, they can't just do some naval invasion somewhere without a lot of escorts. They have to escort convoys to Malta or whatever it may be. They have to worry about this fleet, because if you don't, this fleet can, with aerial reconnaissance by the time we're getting to World War II, is spot you, come out, and sink you. So it takes a lot of naval effort. And so the Royal Navy can do anything at once in the Mediterranean. But, and while it's also protecting the home fleet, protecting the British Isles, the escort fleets that are going, especially when you had German convoy raiders out here, you need capital ships to escort your convoys so they feel safe. So you can maybe only do one thing in the Mediterranean. The British can, but it can do it. But it can't do two things or three things. It can only do one thing at a time in the Mediterranean. So your fleet in being is an important naval factor. And for us, it could be something like, for Germany, I should say, could be having the fleet is to have the ability to invade Norway, or launch be able to dominate the Baltic, to be able to launch a naval invasion circling around some Soviets or something like that. So having a fleet in being may not be a situation in where we're going to confront and defeat the British Navy. And this is why I quickly go to naval air power, because I'm not planning on doing that with Britain. But having some level of ships is useful. And of course, we're also going to be producing submarines to try to deal with that. And now I'm going to look back on that. Okay, good. Brett's back. About submarine raiders, but those aren't as useful as seem to help greatly in some areas, but all it takes is a handful. Yeah, I'm still ready. You get research slots in 35 days by ignoring it. Important. You could end up having a sail around Scotland and run back to eat barbaric fishing village. Rule Britannia. Rule Britannia, yes. True, Barry. The AI may not pay attention to that, and it's killing a lot of them. Yeah, I think the submarine mechanic is broken right now. Yeah, I just think it is. Hey, James. How you doing today? Yeah, my sub levels aren't maybe very good, but now submarines can also be used in this game to gain control of sea zones for like invading Norway and things like that, which are important. Yeah, I would say they're not stealthy enough. Well, and maybe it's because I haven't built up enough levels of research on them. Let's do that. Yeah, Toy, yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking too. Oh, Drunken Barbarian was talking about sailing around Britain. And I believe referring to some degree to the the Spanish Armada. Okay, we've now got... Okay, he's gone through the things. So we have an infiltrator, infiltration risk. Reduce safe cracker, which will help us when we want to try to get our... breaking our... trying to get our naval doctrine supplies. Naval rearmament. Yeah, that can be a thing too. The how well the AI deals with things like upgrading sonar. I believe that is something that we as modders have access to. Research, AI research progress. Is just a thing to do. Okay, we now have suicide pills. That was our big problem last time. Is our we had too many captures, and then they didn't die, so we had to free them. I would have rather just lost them. Oh, what am I should have been making civilian. Meant to be making civilian. Okay, let me cancel these. I wanted to expand my civilian ICs. Oh, waking up and doing this is maybe not the best plan. Yeah, that's another element that I'm not sure what or how they're doing it. Second London Naval Treaty signed. Stupid stuff, but okay. And I don't know about the spies and the intelligence elements that modders have interaction with. Basic machine tools. Okay, we're gonna look at that. Now, you continue with that. Come over here, dispersed industry, yes. And, well, let's get radios. Because they're partially built airy, that's why I'm building out-of-date ships. Yeah, and there's no point in not finishing up the ships here. I mean, like that, we have just a few days left, half built. Some of these are down here a bit lower in percentage of build, but there's no point to not finish them. I mean, as Germany, unless you're somehow doing some sort of super Luftwaffe paratrooper, I think you should make them, but I haven't done all the math. Meaning, how much should better to just get the better ship or cancel the production and try to do the better ship. What doctrines are I'm doing? I've not yet started any doctrines on research. And we're going to go with the historical to get commerce rating here. Yes, Ethiopia capitulated. Wolf packs and that for naval. Germany through the Blitzkrieg. And Luftwaffe through battlefield support. Quite honestly, I don't know a lot about operational integrity path. The strategic destruction, which is sort of the American path. To do that properly, as shall we say, in the American way of doing it, you need to be able to have a lot of resources to build large strategic air campaigns to make that worthwhile. For battlefield support, this is the best for Germany, I would say. Okay, we have a naval department. Oh, we have decisions. Okay, yes, we're going to let MIFO bills. Recruit in the UK. Recruit. Okay, well, don't know that we should recruit anybody yet. Okay, infiltrate civilian administration. No, we're not going to prepare that just yet. Unlock cartography department. Passive defense is very good because it keeps that going, so we don't need to deploy. More agents there. We can use them more offensively. Just looking around to see. So I want to increase my numbers of spies available to me. Branch updates. Yeah, let's do that. Commandos? Yeah, we'll get to that too. Commando training. And we almost have enough here. And now we do. So let's grab up Rudolf Hess. And construction techniques have improved. And now extraction. Or I should say excavation, but either way. Extracting the resources. Oh, that's right, we need to play this little game here. Okay, we can catch up to them. And surpass them, I believe. I think they should be giving us more political power. Because we're having to use it for more things. Okay, so we have autarky is very likely our next thing. Yeah, we want to push. Oh, no, I haven't. Should have clicked training now to so troops and aircraft stop training once they are experienced. That's cool. I normally don't. Training. It's useful. I've just always sort of been a bit more worried about the cost in equipment to training and wondering how useful it is versus not. So I probably don't use it as much as I should on training. Yeah, it's something we'll look at a little bit more later on. But I think right now we're going to end this episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, like I said, please subscribe, like, and of course I love hearing from you. I know I gave a big lecture about that at the beginning. So thanks everyone. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.